Hello, this is Doris Sander, and I have my Texas travel journal pages finished to share with you today. And I have to tell you that we are having all kinds of interesting, noisy diversions this week. Today, we're having, I don't know, there are 2 dump trucks and a bulldozer and a semi-trailer hauling pipes in my little tiny neighborhood. So I think maybe they're replacing all the culverts, which is exciting, except I hope they don't block me in. Maybe they'll tell me first if they decide to rip out my culvert today. Anyway, so yeah, that would be the mechanical humming in the background. All kinds of heavy equipment right outside my door. So yeah, this is my travel journal for 2016 or however long it lasts, and the first section is Texas, which we went to in March, and at the time I didn't know that I was going to want a title page. I'm doing a Tennessee staycation section, so this is my Tennessee section, and I made a title page, and I already showed these 2 pages in the previous video. These are a state park that we went to, and I made a couple pages for those. I'll try to link that video below. And then I'm ready to start. We went to like 6 state parks since we've been out of school. But anyway, back to this section, my Texas in March. So I just went ahead and put this here to, you know, get me started, so I know these first pages are Texas. So these are the 2 pages that I did actually on the trip. This first one is a quote. Though you may travel the world to find the beautiful, you must have it within you or you will find it not. So this is just a little journaling about, this is a collage I made about the scenery on the side of the road as I was traveling. And you know, I absolutely adore photography. I think it's just a brilliant art form, but sometimes your photos can't capture the way you see things with your heart. I don't know if I explained that very well, but when you're taking a picture down the interstate, I mean, first off, if you're driving, you can't, but you know, just what you're seeing and the way you feel about it just doesn't really communicate. So I made this little collage. I cut some junk out of, not junk, some beautiful imagery out of a couple of magazines I had with me. But this one's actually a woman's floral shirt, if you can imagine. I turned it into the highway. So I thought that was funny. But anyway, yeah, this is representing the side of the road as I was driving. The red buds were in bloom, and I love the bright green undergrowth of new growth in the spring. It's just beautiful to me. So anyway, that was that. And then the reason for the whole trip was family, obviously, but I had planned the trip to see the bluebonnets. That was on my bucket list, and my sister is living in Texas at the moment, and we don't know how much longer she'll be there, so I figured this spring was my last best opportunity. So I had planned the trip, and then in the interim, my niece and her little girls moved to Kansas, and so my other sister from Florida came up at the same time, and we just all got together at my other sister's house, and it was just really awesome. Really awesome to hang out with my family like that. So yeah, so we saw the bluebonnets. I was very excited because I got a bee in flight, and that's very hard to do. I try all the time, trust me. And then this flower I just fell in love with. This salmon color just catches your eye on the side of the road. And my sister told me those were Indian paintbrush. So, and then these are yellow rockets. I saw those a lot driving into the city. So yeah, so those are the 3 main flowers that there were a lot more, but those are the main ones. And then this is, my son loves the Japanese steakhouse. I mean, he loves all Asian food, but the Japanese steakhouse is a particular favorite, and my sister likes to indulge him. So we went there, and I saved the little chopstick wrapper, and I made some faux chopsticks out of cardstock to put in there. And the little kitties are from one of those curtains that they have dividing, you know, hallways. And so I just trimmed out the kitties from the curtain because, you know, I like kitties. And then I just doodled, this is washi, and then I just doodled my little family. And again, a photo wouldn't have done it justice, but I think this is cute. So, and then this was, we made a couple trips to look for bluebonnets. My sister really indulged me in that. And so these are my two nieces, which I find this absolutely hilarious. The older niece is like the perfect first child, the one that does everything right. And then this one is like the definition of a strong-willed child, and they're both absolutely delightful, but it's just funny. I mean, she's posing because I told her to, and she's standing up behind the booth at the ice cream shop because probably she's not supposed to. Anyway, that was so fun. And then if you've been to Texas, you know what grackles are. These are a bird. They're kind of like a crow with a long tail, and they just completely crack me up the way they kind of swagger around town. And they're not like in neighborhoods as much. They're more in like shopping areas, parking lots, but my sister detests them. I'm sure if you live there you think they're annoying, but I was just visiting and I think they're hilarious. I mean, every time I went I just have laughed because they're so funny to me. So I drew a picture of Grackleopolis. And then this picture's hilarious too. My niece took it, like she likes photography too, so she was taking a picture of these Indian paintbrush, and I accidentally got in frame, and the perspective is hilarious. So I put that in there and made a little tip in about it, and then I painted the bluebonnets with my watercolors, and they turned out pretty decent. They're a little bit murky, the bottom ones. I'm not good at, I think you're supposed to wait for watercolor to dry before you do the next layer or something. I'm not good at it, but anyway, I like the bottom and the top. I think turned out well. And you know, the tip-in covers up the middle, so there you go. And then this was funny. This was our second trip out to look for bluebonnets, and we went to this little town, Waxahachie, and we were looking for a particular restaurant, and it was not where we thought it was, but we needed to go ahead and eat while we were downtown because we had kids with us and we were just getting tired from traveling. So we were walking around town looking for this other restaurant. We never found it, and finally, you know, I have no patience for such things, so I stopped this random man wearing sunglasses with his German Shepherd and son and was like, you know, where can we eat? And he told us the other restaurant wasn't there, and we pointed to this one, and he said it was good, but it was overly feminine. So we went there. I mean, we were a gaggle of girls, so we went there, and it was overly feminine. This was the little card that they had, and I put a picture of my nieces on the back with the bluebonnets. But this paper right here is actually the, you know, the decorative paper on the outside of individual rolls of toilet paper. Well, this was that paper. It was overly decorated, and this particular sheet, I actually lifted it from the men's bathroom. And this was, you know, before all the bathroom debates began, but this place, for being overly feminine, it was a one-seater. Like, each bathroom was a one-seater, and so the women's line was like 6 or 8 women long, and the men's bathroom was wide open, so, and it was a one-seater. So I went in, and then the toilet paper wrapping cracked me up, so I did them a favor and put another roll out and took the wrapper while I was at it, because, you know, I was saving paper. So anyway, we went to this super cute museum. This is a picture of my son and I in one of the mirrors there, and I really liked this. We just thought this was a cute museum, so I wanted to save the brochure, so I tipped it in there so that I could see all of it, and it's just really cute. See the whole picture there. And then behind it, this is the museum itself, and This was one of the display pieces, and I kind of made it its own little tip-in too. And then this is a quick doodle of one of my other pictures. It's not a true urban sketch because I doodled it from a picture and not from on site. But anyway, that was my first attempt at like buildings like that, so that was fun. And this was more of our trip that day. I rode in the way back coming home, so that's a view of out the back window of the, I think, an Explorer. I think my sister drives an Explorer these days. I don't remember. I don't really care about vehicles, so maybe it was a Pathfinder. She's driven those before too. But anyway, this was a little walk in the woods that one of my little nieces and I took. We found this really cool flower there. And then my big niece, her mother, made us stop and take a picture of this longhorn. So that's funny. We were outside of Dallas, about 45 minutes outside of Dallas that day. Yeah, and then this is just the little flyer from the cheap hotel that we stayed at, and another bluebonnet picture with a little sticker me. So yeah, it's just journaling about my son being excited that we're staying in a hotel both nights, because usually we can only afford one. And so yeah, we love staying in hotels. It's very restful to us because we're not germaphobes. So anyway, this is such a fun little book. I've never made a travel journal. I mean, I've scrapbooked for over, let's see, 14 years now. But this is my first like true travel journal, and it's a much different look to it. So I'm really enjoying this. And so, like I said, I have several more state parks to put in here, and then I'm planning on putting our big New York, Boston, East Coast trip in it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I will be back with more videos maybe next week if I can get the state parks done, and I will chat with you then. Bye.